We are live, I reckon. Bluish, my
Oh
man, how
my
are you
god.
doing?
I'm doing great. How are you, man? How's it going?
Good, awesome. We were
That
just
is
talking about
fantastic.
NFT markets, right? Like your thesis is on like where we're at, and like what my thesis is, and like what the similarities are, and like what the differences are. So maybe like that would be like a great starting point. What do you think?
Yeah, sure. Well, you can maybe start a bit on this, and then I'm gonna tune in after. If that's good for you.
Sure. Dude, I think the oh wait, sorry. I think like this is pretty much like the moment we've all been waiting for. We've been capitulating for like nearly 2 years. So I think like what my thesis was, we're gonna have an all season, we're all gonna be rich, and like simultaneously we're gonna have NFTs popping up, gaining momentum against Solana. That was like really disputed. Like most people thought that it made sense for all of us to get rich first, for that liquidity to rotate into NFTs. And I think like the reverse has happened.
Yeah.
I think like we're all poor now, and like we're so poor to like the extent to where anyone who has been into what's it called, into NFTs ever before versus the dollar, we're at like a new all-time low, or like the previous all-time low, right? So I think rather than like we all have like a bunch of money, I think like the low might be in, and like to anyone who basically would look at this being like, hey, like, you know what, this could be interesting to, it's, long story short, I think prices are so low that it makes sense for anyone new to basically step in, not per se versus Solana, but versus US dollar, right? With like the latest crash, like we did not like lose any momentum against Solana, and even like better, if you would like compare this against Solana, we're actually like, we actually could be printing somewhat of a bottom here, right? Like it's definitely like very early, but like if you're looking at like all the NFT collections in the past 7 days, like they've been like gaining a lot, like a lot. So TLDR, I think we've capitulated twice, and that might make like anyone who has ever been into like NFTs, who differentiated to sneakers, to Pokemon cards, whatever, this might be like a good momentum in time to like buy back into those NFTs, or at least like to throw some beer money at it, right? Like if you're remotely interested, what are you waiting for? Like the perfect scenario, it does not ever line up. And I think this is it. I think like people have got like completely wrecked, and that's gonna be your escalator.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. I mean, yeah, again, I think at some point there will be this, bottom. At the end, we don't know when or where that is, but at some point, I think you, again, as you said, you cannot find the perfect bottom, right? You cannot find the bottom. I mean, maybe you're lucky, but usually you don't. But there's just a point where you have to like tell yourself, okay, DeGods, for example, is at 4.5 Sol. Now, if you believe that they're going to pump back up to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 plus, then does it matter if you buy at 4.5, at 3, at 3.5, or at 5? It doesn't matter that much, if you believe in the long-term vision.
You're kind of wrong there, though, because you know what, and you're kind of right. Like in the grand scheme of things, you made like a bunch of money, right? But like, let's say like if you're buying in at like 3 or 6, like that's a 2x difference there.
No, of course, but but you don't know if it's gonna go back down to 3 or if it's gonna stay at 6.
Sure.
In the sense of like, there's just gonna be a point. Of course, it matters, but there's gonna be a point where you're gonna say, okay, I'm gonna buy something, and then, well, if it drops back down, maybe you're gonna buy something else for cheaper, or if it goes back up, then like.
I see that. So basically what you're saying is like you want to like see some like impulsive wave up first.
Well, that's the thing, we don't know, right, what's gonna happen now. I'm just saying that I think we're just at a point. DeGods is at 4.5 Sol, more or less. It's like almost $400. And I'm just seeing that dollar-wise, this is one of the lowest DeGods has ever been. And I mean, I think it's definitely not a bad place to buy if you still believe in the vision of NFTs or Solana NFTs.
Yeah, I mean, like, I fully agree there.
Also, adding to that, just want to make sure, are we live on X as well, or?
Yep.
Because I don't see anything.
I mean, I can just like link you the.
Because normally I see them, but this time I don't see crap. I know, just kidding. Found it.
All good, no worries.
I take it back.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's kind of like fucking around and finding out with like getting these things set up, right? Like, by the way, like anyone tuning into this, feel free to engage with us. Like, if you'd have like any questions, any remarks, your comment, whether it's going to be at like YouTube or Twitter, it's going to rise and shine right at the bottom right of the screen. Feel free to engage, call us out, whatever. We don't care. We love any kind of engagement.
We love any kind of hate.
Oh hell yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, whatever drives engagement. Do you think we're full of shit for still believing in NFTs? It's perfectly fine. Debate us. Like, if you feel like NFTs are never going to be back ever again, hop on stage. Send me a DM. We'll have you on. We would love to have you. And if not, like, feel free to just tune in. Feel free to shill us your own NFT. We're happy to like either call it a fraud or happy to enjoy the art there. We are here. We're here at the bottom. We're here coping very, very, very hard. While still we like NFTs a lot, right?
Hoping and coping. Let's go.
You know what? Like, Bluish, like as you said, right? Who knows what the bottom is going to be? But yeah, I do kind of feel. Sorry?
No, of course. Yeah, go ahead.
If you're ever going to, like, this might not be like a bad time to throw some beer money at it, right? Like, if you ever had the idea, like, hey, like, I always wanted to get myself a DeGod or a Ute or a SMB or a Matlat or whatever, why not now?
Yeah, no, 100%. On another note, I was looking through the Magic Eden page and I saw these pixel art claws on the page. Do you know what these are about? Or I actually haven't made any research, but they're like on the trending page for a couple of days now, and I'm just like kind of curious.
I mean, like, this has been like some of like the most devious fucking price action I've ever seen in NFTs. Not gonna lie. This was absolutely. This is some of like the worst price action. I'm not quite sure, and like, who knows, right? Like, this might be like a great opportunity to buy yet again. But but like, other than that, I mean,
because it also looks like they've only launched like a week ago. It seems like, and for the fact that they launched a week ago, a like 4,200 collection to get to 2 Sol is pretty impressive in this market, like for a new launch, in my opinion.
Absolutely. But, like, it begs the question, like, what is it about, right? Like, I don't see like any Twitter or Discord linked. It might be some kind of a AI agent, but like I'm pretty sure you can just buy like yourself like the trending kind of thing.
Mhm.
I've no clue, man.
Yeah, no, I was just curious. That's all.
But you know what? Like, there's like some things I really thought to be like extremely interesting. I mean, like famous foxes basically being up like 50% in like the past 7 days.
Yeah. Wow. You know, famous foxes is very it has a very I have a very funny like kind of relationship with when I see a famous fox. First of all, I remember back in the DeGods days, you know, with like famous fox was like basically the place where everybody did their trades with, like, you know, their trading channel they had for basically, I think the fee was like 0.02 sol for every like exchange you did. And I remember, you know, you would do exchanges like DeGods were thousands and thousands of sol like on one deal, and it was fantastic because they charged 0.02 Solana every time, and you were just able to make these like huge, like back then, you know, 6, almost sometimes 7-figure deals and pay 0.02 sol as a fee.
Which is
Yeah.
kind of nuts, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure about their NFTs. Like I don't know. Like I don't know, but like Famous Foxes is probably one of like the best utility platforms out there, right? Because like it goes from
Yeah.
raffles to peer-to-peer swaps to auctions to whatever. Having said that, if anyone in the audience here would basically either represent Famous Foxes or have like great connections to Famous Foxes, I would love to get in touch with them because I have an idea which would be like, well, a match made in heaven. But like having said that, I think it's really incredible to like see some life being returned into NFTs, right? I mean, like Bluish, like people are all, this is kind of what we were talking about like earlier, right? Like you can kind of like wait for like the perfect scenario, and like before you know it, like something like this could happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. Exactly. And I mean, famous foxes, they were also like at a pretty decent price, Solana wise, like when NFTs was pumping as well, right? They were like sitting at around 40 sol for a while. And yeah, I also find it funny. I mean, so actually a funny story with these famous foxes. So when we started our spaces, the Renaissance spaces a while ago, my girlfriend like installed X for the first time because she also wanted to like listen to our spaces. And then she also saw these famous foxes, and she was like, "Ah, they're so cute." She had no idea what they are, so I had to explain to her that they're like NFTs, and yeah. So every time when I see a famous fox, it's like, yeah, it kind of reminds me of that. So it's kind of funny.
I mean, like that's great, right? Because like at the end of the day, this is what makes like NFT special to you, and I think like it's also like kind of like a great use case so why NFTs could be perceived to be like special at all, right? Because like your girlfriend was looking at one, found a famous fox cute enough to tell you about it, right? And like that's how like the memories are made. And
Yep.
I don't think you would ever say that about like Pepe meme coin.
No, I don't think so. And yeah, that's also the thing which I always had, like, you know, a special kind of relationship with like NFTs, right? You kind of build a connection to your NFT in a sense. You build a connection. You see, you know, you look at the art, you maybe like how their face looks, what their traits are. You can discuss with other people about different traits, about different so many things which you just cannot do with meme coins. Now, of course, meme coins, they have the advantage you can, you know, just instantly sell things very fast. Like there's usually more liquidity, people, because there's also a lot more of it. It's NFTs, there's usually let's say a 10K collection, and with meme coins, maybe there's millions, hundreds of millions, right? But the interesting part is that even if NFTs are maybe not as liquid sometimes, but you kind of build it, well, it's like it's a collectible, right? You build like a connection to it. Like maybe if you have a
True.
Pokemon card, you're maybe going to build a connection to that card. If you have again, I'm coming back with the watch example, even though it's not a character, you're maybe also going to build a connection with your watch, right? It has special gemstones on it, maybe it's from a special
True.
brand, and you're going to start loving it and care for it in a way.
On like the individual level, right? Like
Mhm.
NFTs are very much like a story of like what you're thinking within like a moment of time when
Yeah.
you decided for yourself to like press the buy button. And like that's the part like we're highlighting like right here right now. Like that's the part which is connecting us. Like this is the part basically why we're friends right now, is because like we're sharing this kind of passion like wherever you are in the world, wherever I'm located in the world. Just to degenerates talking about like the art we love, like the curiosity on like the class, and like that's the part like I'd very very much like to highlight with these kind of sessions, right? And like basically spread the love, spread the passion, and also like call out like any kind of like what's the right word, charlatans within the market, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, 100%.
So, having said that, let's maybe go to the topic at hand, right? Because, like, at the end of the day, it's still like a DeGods stream. We might as well.
Sure.
Boom.
Boom, we're back. Let's go.
We are back. We're ready. And I mean, just so you know, Bluish, like the other day, I actually like started to with like with the plan to educate people, right? Like especially it's fair to say that DeGods are our forte. We are alive and kicking in the post-Frank era. I think like it's great to highlight the several versions of like one piece of art, right? So, for example, like the other day, I've elaborated on, I believe, this one in like season 1, 2, 3, etc., etc. Maybe it would be like cool to highlight like some more pieces like that, right? Because like it's not that you're married to one profile picture. You're lucky enough to be able to choose between 3 and arguably 4.
Yeah, no, 100%. And yeah. But I think that's also, something with DeGods, which is very interesting, right? That you have like these different seasons, and in a sense you can like kind of choose between like what art you would like to have while not losing your character, but like what you're known for, but still having like these different choices. Like whereas I think the season 2 and season 3 art are like more in a sense similar to each other, right? Where the season 1 is maybe you cannot always distinguish if it's like if this is your god or not. But no, it's but it's a very cool thing, yeah, 100%.
I mean, you know what? Let's take a new one. Let's take one which is like objectively speaking, fucking cool. Dang. I think this one is absolutely badass. Like, I missed this one being folded the other day for like fucking 4.5 Solana, which is, I mean, like, this is not a floor god. It's not. Like, it's not. And I would like consider it not compared to the valuation of a floor to grill kind of thing, but for the valuation of just US dollars, I think like this one for $700 is kind of cheap historically speaking.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, again, it depends, right? I mean, if you look in the past, I definitely agree that this is like a really good price. But again, it just depends now again on the demand, right? What people want. Are they really looking for these like? Because I would say this is like mid rare, close to like low grail, you know, kind of like.
Mhm.
But then again, back in the days, like this is what we also discussed last time, like a mythic, right? They would sell for double the floor price, and this is it worth more than double the floor price or not? That's that's maybe in today's market, yeah. Maybe in today's market, yeah, because you don't see mythic skins for like under 3x, I think, at the moment.
You know what? Like as hard as I'm cringing on this one, because like I would have loved to like just buy this one off the market for floor price, right? But like obviously shoulda, woulda, coulda. I think this is fairly priced. Like this is a cool fucking gold skin. Let's maybe like highlight the several versions of it in the seasons. Even the season 1 is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Right? This is the one that like people kind of perceive right here right now as like the standard version, right? Like the season 2 version. Back in the day, I've maybe you can like tell more about this, but a lot of these a lot of people did not really like the spear being pierced through the chest.
Yeah.
Was that like a thing back in the day, or you don't know?
It was something I think some people bothered. Me personally, it never really did. I thought it looked pretty cool. Something again which bothered me personally more was like the vape god, for example, with the mouth, which really didn't look so nice, in my opinion. But personally, the spear is something that never bothered me that much, and I always thought this clothes trade was always like a nice trade in general.
True. Well,
but also here for this god, I mean, it looks pretty fantastic. Like I think this like darker goldish like of the vest with the gold skin, the gold the money shades, and then the gold leaf. Like I think it just looks fantastic.
I mean, like this season 3 is kind of bonkers as well, right? Like this is one where like the season 3 like really translates really well, in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%. No, I mean, this is something which, I think I'm very, it's very controversial, but I'm actually still the biggest fan of the season 2 art. Me personally, I have never, not that I didn't like the season 3 art, but I always just like I felt the vibes of DeGods more in season 2. That's just my personal opinion. Even though it looks nice, it looks great, but I feel like there was just something to DeGods which just made it unique, which made it different. Like, for example, if you look at season 3 art, it looks great, but it looks like more similar to like other NFT projects from like the style wise, in a sense. Like whereas DeGods was really, they were unique. You knew when you saw DeGod, that was a DeGod, that kind of thing. And yeah.
No, like you're 100% on the money there. I do kind of feel like you're going to break the internet with like season 2, and season 3 kind of makes you want to have like a season 4, right?
Yeah, no, exactly.
Like, I like it, but like, dude, like I love season 3, I really do. But like, if you're gonna leave art as it is, I kind of feel like you cannot just leave us hanging at fucking season 3.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Right? You know what?
Yeah.
Problem solved. Like it's off chain. We don't care. Like rather than getting like one version, you're getting 3, and like who am I to pick or choose, right? Like we can just like choose whatever version we like.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think the cool thing what they added is also the wallpapers there, in the middle. I mean, I just saw it actually today.
True.
Like I haven't looked at it in a long time. And also just that you can like download, your phone background, that you can download your laptop background. Like that is a really cool feature in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, what the DeGods team did really well is making it good for collectors, right? Like making it cool for collectors. Let's see if we can like show some off. I think like this is Pixel Ramos.
Wow.
I mean, this is one way to show off your collection, right?
Dang, at this point, dang. And also with the Medusa, I mean, most of these, like gods, which he's like holding right now, I remember he's held them since I joined DeGods, basically, since like 3-4 years ago. Like he's been holding these guys like forever. Crazy collection, like especially that Medusa there. He has been holding that guy for so long. Like I just know when I see this Medusa, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's Pixel.
Yeah. He doesn't rock it as his profile picture though. That's this one.
Yeah, but this one is also, I think, a very unique one and very recognizable.
True.
In addition, did you know that actually before the season 3 art came out, I once talked to, I think, Candy Apple, if I'm not wrong, a while back, because we were talking about like about like how to make maybe the Dylan, like my PFP, like maybe because it's one of the most like recognizable, I'd say, in the collection, to make it like kind of like a 101 art. And well, I sent him some ideas, some things, and I'm just trying to look for the photos now. Just maybe I'm not gonna find them anymore. But in any case, I tried like to kind of make something very unique. But of course, now with the season 3, it also turned out pretty nice, I have to say.
I mean, all jokes aside, I do kind of feel like they should have gone for like the Dylan for a 1-out-of-1, right? Because like right now, when it's about like hardcore DeGod holders, if you will, they're way more into Dylans than than like the Medusas, even though like they're cheaper than the Medusa. Let's just call it for what it is.
Yeah.
But I do kind of feel like you cannot call the Dylan like the better piece. One, they're not equally as rare. But secondly, I mean, like it's different for your Dylan, right? Because like that's like pretty much like a full costume kind of Dylan together with the Mythic War armor. But when it comes down to Medusa, like they got like their own 1-out-of-1 special art for season 3.
Yeah, exactly, and Dylan's did not. But yeah, it is what it is. Also, I just found a in my like files a bunch of DeGods, all of the DeGods, or most of them, which we have ever owned, like sold, traded. I think I like used to document this.
Yeah.
And it's a lot, actually. Damn. And some really like crazy grails under these. That is insane.
I mean, if you'd ever for like next time, feel free to like share some and we can like go through them.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I can also like share them now if I can do that.
Yeah. I mean, like just send it to me on Discord.
Yeah, and, sure. I'll just send you a photo. I mean, it's not like all of them, but this I would say is like from the very first ones till maybe the like close to like the last ones. There were, in the end, we definitely bought like a couple more grails, but these were definitely like from the very beginning. And in fact, I can also tell you, my first DeGod, which we acquired, was a 3-attribute DeGod with my and the number was my birth year, actually.
Don't tell them. Tell them. There we go.
Nah.
Here's the image you sent.
Yeah, those are the gods. BTC DeGods. These are like kind of the gods I've ever owned, with my partner together, and I actually can almost tell you a story to almost all of them, because I really remember all of them basically.
Yeah, I mean, go for it, dude.
Yeah, I mean, where do I start? I mean, some of these gods were also just gods which I just did some trading with. Like I got them for a floor and some soul, then got them, then sold them for pure soul or such. Definitely one which I can definitely have a story to is the Joker at the like kind of top right with the laser eyes.
Mm-hmm.
That was a god which back then we kind of overpaid a bit for that god, but in Solana we paid 1.35k Solana for that Joker.
I mean, that's free. I mean,
yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, hello. I mean, that's free, no? And yeah, just I feel like also, for example, the one with the jersey, just like to the bottom right of it, like a bit further down with the bucketet. That's also a god which I remember buying for Sol for a pretty decent price back then. I think for like maybe 450, 500. And because jerseys, they like had a big name back then. Actually, like people were collecting these jersey trades, and were really paying like 1.5x floors for jerseys. And they're just like a bunch of other ones. For example, also the halo at the like a bit in the bottom. That's also something which was very hard to sell. I remember. Because the skin was just something which people hated in season 2. Like the lavender skin was just horrible.
Which one?
The one, the halo, which is like on the right side, kind of bottom, kind of middle right.
7545.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because people hated that.
Why do people hate lavender skin? Like I don't see how.
I don't know. I mean, me personally, I also didn't like it that much. On some of them, I think it fitted fairly well. But people just like were hating on lavender so much for some reason.
Oh, there you go. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's also crazy. We actually owned 3 different Medusas. Well, 4 actually, because there's one more which isn't on this list, which we had. But 4 different Medusas. That is pretty crazy as well.
I mean, like back in the day, this must have been like quite like the fucking portfolio, man.
Yeah, again, we haven't owned these like all at the same time, right? This is like over like a couple of months with trading, with like exchanging. For example, I can tell you there's some gods here which we have traded for other gods on here, like as an example.
Yeah, sure, gotcha.
But also the hoodie ape, like kind of at the top in the middle, 3649. That's also something a DeGod which back then was trading for like 2 to 3x floor price. Like floor price was at 500, 600 soul, and that ape would go for 1.2, 1.3k. Like it's
Why so
really
much? Just like apes in general.
Apes in general were trading for 2 to 3x. Clean apes 3 to 4x, 100%. There was this time where where apes were really just any ape you could get it for like 2x floor, and then a clean ape for 3x. And that hoodie ape there, it was just, I don't know, man, it just looks clean as hell. I don't know what else to tell you.
Yeah, you know what, like I'm not the biggest fan of apes. Like, I think they're cool. I think they look great. I think like they're, if not like the best mythic or like the best non-mythic skin. But I also kind of feel like, I mean, like, yeah, what do you want me to say? Like, I would way rather have 2 to 3 floors than 1 ape, if that makes sense. And there's no right and wrong. This is just like my personal preference. Right? Like I think like a lot of people are like the DeGod community, like they lose their absolute fucking minds on apes, and
Yeah.
that's good for them. I'm very indifferent about them. But
Yeah,
it's a
sure.
very cool skin. I mean, like, don't mind me like showing off a little bit, but like I do kind of feel like I got one of the coolest apes out there.
Yeah, which one is that?
Let's see.
The apes. Let's see.
Ah, this one.
Ah, okay. Okay, yeah. No, that's fire one. How did it look in season 3 actually? I'm curious.
It looks good.
Oh wow. They did the mythic wings really well in season 3, honestly.
Yeah. Dude, like I'll tell you this much, I think like mythic wings are like extremely undervalued to begin with, because it's like it's a more rare trait than mythic war armor, for example, right?
Yeah, for sure. 100%. Yeah, no, I mean, wow, that really looks fantastic. Also with the golden like cobra snake at the top. Big,
Yeah.
wow, incredible.
It's a good one. It would be nice if like sooner or later, maybe like they would not release like a season 4, but it could be cool if they would like bring out some kind of an alternative version to season 3, right?
Yeah, but here's the thing, right? I like, because the artist of this of season 2 was Candy Apple and Johnny, right?
Mm.
And as of my knowledge, they're not really involved with DeGods anymore.
They're not really
involved with DeGods anymore. So
no, they're not involved, but they do have like their own company, right? Where they basically do like NFT creation. So I do like if I'm sure they would be up for it. They just have to be paid.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm just kind of like also thinking about like DeGods, like for example, because I don't see in the past like months, I haven't seen that much like of them like doing that much, right? I think. In a sense of like
the batch traits or like the new patches, as in like the wallpapers plus the
no, 100%, yeah. No, and I mean that's fantastic. But at the same time, I feel like you could still like elaborate more on like also to like get people more engaged again on like into DeGods, right? Because they get royalties, right? They get still a pretty decent amount of royalties, I think, and they probably still also have a pretty decent like amount of funds. And I think again for like the monthly revenue, I think they like still make a pretty decent amount. For example, like in the last 30 days, they made 4K Solana volume, right? Which
it's just kind of crazy, right?
Yeah, 100%. And I mean the royalties are 3.33%, right? So if we take 4,000 times 3.33%, whoops, times which would be with current SOL price, that's still like 10K a month, right? Which in this market is like like kind of pretty good in my opinion. I don't know, but like it seems pretty damn decent.
I mean, like in the last 8 days, and mind this, like there has not been like any kind of special narrative on DeGods. But in the last 7 days, they had like 800 Solana volume, which is good. Like that's really good, actually.
Yeah, no, it's definitely great.
Interesting.
I mean, also looking like at like DeGods like all-time volume. They made like all-time volume is 5 million Solanas, right?
Yeah, you don't want to know how much royalties they made.
I mean, that's like 170K Solanas. That's an
Well,
insane amount.
yeah. So
Yeah,
what do
incredible.
you think of basically Frank not like interacting with DeGods like in any capacity? Because like the dude is like very busy with
With his
Bitcoining,
nice
I
hair.
believe. Well, to be honest, like it looked good. What can I say?
Oh my god. Well, you're
Frank
not
can
wrong.
do
I'll
better
give you
jobs.
that. My
No, like
god.
good on him.
No, I mean, I love his hair. We all love his hair. We gotta get him up one day here on this space and like show off his hair, man.
Well,
My
all jokes
god.
aside, I don't think he wants to interact with like DeGods in
Yeah.
whatever way, shape, or form. And like, you know what? Like, I do kind of I've heard some because me and Candy Apple are like best friends now. All jokes aside, like I do speak to the guy occasionally, and he did like say like a thing or two on how basically DeGods weighed a lot on the team, and basically all of the expectations and all of the this and all of the that, and I can see how that like affects one for sure. It's just like a pity, right? Because like, to be honest with you, like without Frank, we would not have this fucking conversation to begin with.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, look, in the end, I think it's on one side, again, that was something which, like me, I've always discussed for a while. Was what happens if Frank disappears? What happens if, because Frank was basically kind of the heart and the soul of DeGods for a very long time. Like he basically was DeGods, right? In a sense.
True.
And well, it's, I think, also something what was for him. He was young, right? I feel like he also had a lot of pressure from like many people, which kind of came out of nowhere because they started as like 5 friends, right, in the garage trying to do shit, and then out of nowhere, it kind of boomed up. And I would say like being by far the most successful NFT project on Solana. At some point, even close to being one of the most, like I'd say the top 3 most successful projects on the whole NFT ecosystem on ETH as well. They were close to like overtaking Azuki back then. Azuki was at like 12, 13 ETH floor price. DeGods was at 11. Pudgy Penguins back then didn't exist really yet. So after, it was basically just Apes, Punks, and Azuki were like in front of DeGods basically floor price wise. And otherwise DeGods was like basically definitely in the top 5 of like the highest floor price NFT in all of like NFTs, which is just like insane, right? And you have to think, if you look at Yuga Labs, they have like a huge team behind them for Apes. You have Pudgy Penguins, which back then, wasn't that relevant yet. You have Azuki, which I actually don't know that much about the team, but you have a huge Asian-based community. And I just think that also for Frank, it's eventually may have gone a tiny bit too much in a sense, which may have also led him to maybe doing some wrong decisions.
Sure.
And yeah, in the end, it is what it is. And maybe it's not a bad thing that Frank kind of left DeGods in a sense. This also gives a chance for the community to step up to make this something special. Now, of course, I can say that there's many people who lost a lot of money because of what happened.
Sure.
But yeah, life goes on. In the end of the day, NFTs are in the end still I would consider a medium to high risk investments, right? You don't have a guarantee. And yeah, at the end of the day, we're all in it for the community. And in the end, it's also a gamble. But at the end of the day, what isn't a gamble, right? Like, of course, you can maximize and minimize your odds of like winning. But in the end, with everything, you kind of have a chance to lose, right?
Well, I mean, you know what is equally high risk in my opinion is fucking buying Pokemon cards right here, right now. Like, are you kidding me?
100%.
Like, dude, Pokemon cards basically went booming right before, no, right after the COVID crash, I believe, right? Kind of out of nothing, and they outdid like the S&P by like 3,000, like some crazy number. But like at the end of the day, like you're probably buying the top, right? Until like Pokemon cards is going to be like the world reserve currency. I mean, like anything is possible, right? But you know what? Like it's better to be bullish at the bottom than be bullish at a top. And I mean, like I can just like show you here. And this was like a point I made like in the other video as well, or like in my last stream as well. This does not look like a top to me. Who knows if it's the bottom, but like I can sure as hell tell you this is not a top, right?
I mean, if this is the top, then we're gonna go to the negatives.
Yeah.
Like you have to like if you want to get a if you want to sell your DeGod, you have to pay on top of it for someone to get it, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and you know what? Like people are always asking, like, well, I can just like copy and paste like your profile picture. Like, yes, you can, but like I can also just like fucking make a copy of your PSA 10 Charizard, right? I don't know, like I went over this like for so many times, but like you don't need to, like you're not gonna deteriorate, you're not gonna get scammed in the way of like, hey, is this NFT real? You know it's real based on like the contract address, right?
Yeah, based on blockchain.
Yes. The fact that like the market is dead doesn't mean that there's no interest. I mean, like you and I were having this conversation in like the DeGods server. There's a whole bunch of people who are constantly yapping on what they think is great, what they think is not good. Same for medievals, same for SMB, same for matlats, right? I think like the industry is like, the timing right now is just pure shit. But with that
100%,
that comes with a lot of opportunities, right? Because like more than likely when your neighbor is going to ask you like, hey, have you heard of NFTs before? Well, we're probably closer to the top than the bottom.
Yeah, 100%. I agree.
So yeah.
And I think in the end also, yeah, I think in the end also time will will make us see what will happen right in the future. With time we will see what if our thesis is right. That's what we're gonna see in the end. We cannot predict the future, that's for sure, but in the end we can try to like kind of look at the past and look how things developed, and from there kind of predict in a sense what could be a possible outcome.
Well, I mean, like Bluish, that's one, bless you. On another note, like this profile picture once had like a floor price of 40K. I think this is a cool looking fucking profile picture. Like I really do think so. Like this is what I like. This is my personal preference as someone who likes to collect art. And
yeah, sure.
If you somewhat kind of feel like, hey, that might be cool, whether this is like the exact bottom, or rather than like, as you mentioned, like it might be 400, who knows, it might go to 300, but we either like this or not, and a minus 99% is a pretty good discount.
Yep, I agree.
Right, it's not quite that deep. Like I don't know, like I just get fired up like talking about this shit. But like I kind of feel like, hey, like way rather than flexing a physical bundle of Pokemon cards, I think like this is the way to go. Like we're getting more and more digital, elaborating about the art that you own, I own. We all kind of feel like, no, my portfolio is the best because of XYZ, yada yada yada. This is the most collector friendly asset for collectors, I believe.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
Having said that, why don't we maybe like just like scout, like, because like we're obviously like closer to the end than to the beginning, but right, maybe like let's highlight like some cool opportunities right here, right now.
Sure. Let's do that. Well, I'm gonna let you go ahead.
Sure.
And then I'm also gonna tell you what I think.
You know what? Let's disregard price for now. Obviously, if it's too expensive, but maybe like let's keep it like a little art focused.
Yeah, sure.
I don't mind this one. I think like this is like a great heaven background, especially with like the hair and like the
Wow,
devil
that is a
wings.
really beautiful piece.
It's a good one, right?
Really good one. My God.
How were heaven backgrounds like perceived back in the day, Bluish?
As I remember correctly, I mean, they were not like crazy sought after.
Yeah.
They were a good piece, but also because there's like, I think it's the mythic traits, which there's like the most of. I think there's if I'm not wrong. But it's definitely, I always liked them, honestly. Me personally, I always liked the heaven traits, personally. But yeah.
No, I hear you. Like either these world champion X-rays are looking really cool.
Wow, yeah, that's also a beautiful piece. Also, the fact that they fixed the vape god there is also something which, like, I think is pretty nice. Because again, I think the vape gods was definitely like something which many people didn't like that much.
You want to know something cool, by the way, Bluish? You might not know about this, but you know, there's like one colored bee here.
There's
a colored bee. The Gucci bucket hat. There we go.
Ah, I did not know that.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Very. Dang, my cats are going crazy. They're just jumping around and doing crap.
They got the zoomies?
Sorry?
They got the zoomies?
Yeah. Yeah, man, they're listening to our stream here, and they're like, God damn, this is interesting.
I can't blame them.
Yeah, me neither.
Oh, yeah, I thought that was like kind of cool to share.
Yeah, 100%.
People don't give too many shits about like the rainbow laser eyes.
That is true. That is 100% true. These were something which never have gotten that much like attention in my, like that much attraction in my opinion. Me personally, I always loved them. I always loved the laser eyes.
Yeah, but, especially since you have like regular laser eyes and just like these, which are extra special.
Yeah, exactly. And I think I always loved how the rainbow, especially in season 2, I think they looked absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes there's just traits which I personally also don't understand why they're like this, like kind of depreciated, and why people don't really like it that much. But at the end of the day, it's to the people to decide, right? And what am I gonna judge in the end?
True. Wait, maybe quite interesting. I think like yesterday I discussed like a few gods. Yep, this one has been sold. This one is absolutely amazing. It sold like for so cheap too. 6.3 Solana. Like I'm a big fan of like the third eye trait.
Yeah, third eye is a really nice trait. That is true.
historically speaking, how did people appreciate like the third eye back in the day?
Not so much. People didn't like it that much. Me personally, I always liked it because I think it represents a lot. Like also, kind of in a spiritual way. With the third eye, I think it's something very, very nice. And me personally, I always liked it, but I think people didn't appreciate it that much back in the days. That's just how it was.
Gotcha.
Who knows why, but yeah.
I mean, like the market speaks, right?
Yeah.
This one is really cool.
Wow. A beautiful X-ray. Again, there's so many like nice ones, I feel like. And yeah, I mean, look, in the end of the day, it's also about appreciating the art again. I feel like it hasn't been appreciated that much in the past months and years, right? Like people care more about quick profits. Back when I started, people used to like still care much more about the art, which kind of got lost a bit. But yeah, I think what happened once can happen again, and why shouldn't it with DeGods, right?
True. The Solana chain, I mean, like this one is like an awesome piece when it comes down to like Solana chain, right? Like I think like it looks like really cool with like the golden laurel leaf combined with like the black hair and like the devil wings, etc. The contrast with the Navi skin together with like the blue within like the Solana chain. I think like this is a dope piece. My question to you is like, how was like the Solana chain perceived back in the day? Because you know what, I was kind of amazed by this. Well, it's pretty much like equally rare to like the Mamba.
Give me 1 second, sorry.
There are like 51 mythic Mambas and 60 Solana chains.
Yeah, I mean, I think just like there was something about the Solana chains which just like kind of made it more unique, I think, in a sense, right? I mean, sorry, the Mambas, which just like made it, because the Mambas are like, kind of the snakes, more kind of evil looking ones. Whereas I think, again, it's just that people sometimes just like love this like craziness, right? And this like abstractness, like this different kind of being, which is fair. I understand. And but the soul chains, I mean, they were people like them, but again, I think the Mambas were just always kind of on top in a sense.
Of course, yeah.
So
how were like Mambas compared to like divine robes, for example?
Compared to divine robes, that's a good question.
Or like mythic war armors, like
divine robes, I think were always kind of on top. They weren't traded as much on Solana, only on ETH. I feel like they kind of got a lot of like hype. Mambas were always very expensive, like you couldn't find them that much. Mythic war armors, I would say Mamba and Mythic war armor may be similar level, whereas divine robe I think was definitely a bit higher than the Mythic war armor and Mamba.
Really? That's interesting.
That's just from like how I remember it. Like
yeah. Interesting for sure. I mean, like this is also like, this is a cool ape.
Yeah, for sure.
Is it like 3 times floor price cool of an ape? I don't think so.
Yeah. Look, in the end of the day, market speaks right for itself.
Yeah.
True. If someone buys it, good for them. If that's how it is.
Who are we to judge? Well, I mean, like, dude, like, I think like that's pretty much it for here for now, right? I think like we discussed like the usual, right? Like if you just want to get in, floors are always like a great bet. Like they're like good looking floors right here right now. And let's see if like the NFT market can keep the momentum it has for right here right now. Interesting few weeks.
Yeah, 100%. But hey, that's what keeps it interesting, right? That's what keeps us going.
True.
And
True.
we'll see what happens in the next months, in the next weeks, and I'm excited for it. That's for sure.
Hell yeah. Bluish, I think that's it, brother. I appreciate like us doing this. Like, appreciate the time. I appreciate like anyone like tuning in. Any closing words?
Buy DeGods or get wrecked.
Oh yeah. Buy DeGods.
No.
What about like buy DeGods and get wrecked? We can do it both.
Oh my god, that's even better. I love this. My god. Let's fucking go. All right, cool. Well, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you having me up here. It's been great as always. We can really do this maybe once every 1 or 2 weeks. I'd love to.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, that's it for me. Thank you guys, and thank you Cat Guy for hosting. It's great what you're doing, and keep it up. And
Appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, have a great day. And I mean, yeah, we'll be in touch.
Yeah, we'll chat soon. Okay, thanks all. Bye.